Let's see. When submitting beats to artists, do you find better luck getting beats selected or a place that they have a hook on them?
We are live.
A little late,
yeah, but we here.
You know what I mean?
Everybody, welcome. It is already July 6th, and this is another special episode of UnQuantized Podcasts.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
there we go. That's the right one. We have a special guest in the studio today. We have the great, legendary. You've seen him as the head preset manager for Ableton, 12-year Ableton sound design vet.
Did your teleprompter go down?
Yeah, my teleprompter's always down.
The next award.
Anyway, damn him. This is Huston Singletary. Everybody give it up for him, man.
What's up?
Don Pro says, when using the MPC, how do you set up your swing?
Usually, no pun intended, I unquantize. I record unquantized and then I'll quantize 50%. I never use a manual like swing on. I don't like the way it sounds. Yeah. Like if I was doing like 4 on the floor, like some house, it would be perfect. But for me, it's just my natural thing, and then just quantize it down to where it sounds half of me and half regular.
So, when you're working a 16th, you're 50%. What percent are you generally?
Like a 50, 52 sometimes.
Because I'm like 65.
Yeah.
So I know that's nerd now, but it's like very real. Like people have a way to. I generally work on quantized too, for drums.
Yeah.
And then I'll get in there, and I have a preference at 65.
Well, I'll 50%, and then I'll 50% from the 50%, and I'll keep going in little by little. I'll probably end up at about, honestly, like a 75 or 80.
And that's MPC. So it varies. Pulse per quarter note and all that kind of stuff. What's your input machine?
I use Push, yeah.
So Push and Live. So we're on the same page. So it's
One of the beautiful things about Live is that it can do what everything else can do and so much more. That's what I always tell people. Like whatever you do in Logic, whatever you do in Studio One, you can do all of those things in Ableton, but then you got Session View, which is a whole nother animal within itself, and all those other flexibilities. So
and repetition. Like I said, if you sit down with someone who's just killing it, that you can really spend some time with, that's what's going to unlock that session view like he's talking about, and like I live in. You sound like you're more of a hybrid kind of user. But the days of Ableton doesn't sound as good as Logic. This, that, and the other excuses. There are no excuses now in Live.
I love the texture. I like the sound of Ableton better than I like anything. It's a texture to it.
There really aren't any excuses. The sounds have been bumped up and the whole new level with 10, and it's just kind of like
nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. When submitting beats to artists, do you find better luck getting beats selected or a place that they have a hook on them for reference, or beats with just a beat alone? I write a lot of hooks for reference.
I definitely have an answer to this, but you just recently worked. You've been doing this a lot, so I'm gonna let you answer this one.
I say, well, here's the thing. I would say always with the hook, but the hook has to be a good hook,
right?
Because it's been situations where I've heard a hook on a song which makes me not like the beat. The beat is good, but I don't like the song, so then I really don't like it. I'm like, you know what I mean? But a lot of times the hook gives the person an idea. It gives you kind of what they're going for.
So let me ask you this: do you do a version with the hook and a version without?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
And I always try to sell the hook, and then if they be like, "Oh, well, just give me the beat," then I just say
there it is, right there.
And I guess some of that's is hinged on the feedback that you get before submitting it. Say, hey, we're looking for this type of song, and then you're like, oh, okay,
gotcha.
Let me get this girl to sing on it, or at least a melody line. The reason, and this goes back to my comment about getting some hands-on experience with it, whether it's somebody that uses a Push or you go to the store, spend some time with it, feel the pads, take a minute and realize all the power that you have with Push in regards to playing chords, inversions, and scales, but being able to flip over and totally flip a beat and slice it, all right in the display. You could put we used to challenge ourselves all the time. I think we had videos too where we promoted this for a while. You just lay the laptop lid down and challenge yourself and realize that you can slice a sample, create beats, play some piano chords, do some step sequencing, all in Push,
Yep.
Yeah, and so that's the difference. So it's kind of like I always sort of put the Launchpad paradigm there. It's like Launchpad's great, but an APC 40,
Right.
an APC 20, and Mark II, and all that is you're channeling yourself to launch things, do macros, turn a filter up, turn something down. Whereas with Push, your both hands are on there, and you're doing music. You're creating beats, you're slicing, you're making beats, all within that LED display that just takes it like.
Right. Yeah, Oracle, I know you're not an Apple guy, but I think of it like my MacBook, right?
Right.
If I have AirPods, it syncs up immediately, right? If I need to AirDrop, they all work together. And it's like, I feel like if you have, like, what is the other controllers?
Like a Launchpad or something like that.
They're like having bootleg AirPods. They connect, they work, but they don't work to the full extent. You know what I'm saying? When you get the rear AirPods, you can tap, you can pull up Siri, you know what I mean?
Everybody I know that has those swears by them.
Best investment.
Oh, yeah.
Best investment.
He's been talking about that all week.
I know, I need to do that.
For the person that was asking, can you have multiple VST folders that Ableton can see? No, you can only have one. But what you do is you pick one main folder. And for the other folders, you just make shortcuts to those folders and put them inside of your main VST folder. And Ableton will see them just like
a regular folder.
Yep, just like a regular folder.
Can you get a good beat master out of Ableton Stock FX?
Oh, definitely.
Is there a good Max for Live alternative for gross beat? Excuse me.
I want to hear the answer to this.
Yes, there are quite a few. There isn't one that does exactly what gross beat does, but there are some multi and glitch effects ones. None of them, I can't think of any good ones that are free. I think there might be 2 or 3 of them, but collective of guys, K Devices, they make some cool like stutter glitchy stuff that's very comparable to gross
What's a
beat.
glide thing though? You know what I'm saying? That's the one I always.
What, the tape stop?
Just a tune.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's the stutter glitchy stuff all day.
Yeah.
And gross beat, I mean, it is so. You can set those envelopes to make it rhythmic with that glide stuff. It's like.
Well, there are
Busy
some
Beats has a video on that. I was just like, yo.
There's some good like tape stoppy glide plugins in Max for Live. They are free, but the best sound I get out of those is honestly just doing the envelope. I found all the devices that do it, and they sound good.
Like transpose, right?
Yep. Put it on, make your section, put it on transpose.
Take it out of Snap. Take it out of Snap to Grid.
Yep, take it out of Snap to Grid, and then I do a linear ramp.
Or just do like a little slope curve or whatever.
So, we're about to get real nerdy real quick. I'll just go to the end, use the draw tool, and just carve out that little rectangle.
Right.
And then just delete that circle and delete this circle, and then all you're left with is the top one and the bottom one, so it makes you that perfect linear.
Put that little slope, hold down options, put that
that little curve in it.
That little curve.
Yep.
It's book recommendations from you, Houston.
Making Music, Dennis DeSantis. The Ableton book.
Oh, the green one?
It's like gray.
Oh, great, yeah.
It's like the number one. It's crazy. It's basically deals with getting yourself out of musical stalemates. It deals with working with technology. It talks about writing, and it's not just about. It really has nothing to do with Ableton. Actually, it uses Ableton as the reference, but it's called Making Music with Live, and it's by Dennis DeSantis, Dr. Dennis DeSantis. He actually does all our documentation, but if you read the reviews, like it's just
I might check it out.
One more I will tell you is Live Power by John Margolis. Marguleis. John Margolis. He's done all the Live Power since Live 2. They're always the number one sellers.
Right.
That book will change your game.
So how do you link the DAWs when collabing with another producer?
Oh, click the link button.
It works on Wi-Fi. So basically, one person has to have the Wi-Fi. What do you call it? The Wi-Fi accessibility.
Right.
And then everyone else, you tell them what that is. It's like Oracle.AT&T, whatever.
Yep. Give them the Wi-Fi pass.
You go into your computer and just go to user, do the same thing, and then all you do in Ableton is you click on link.
Okay, real quick. XO2, SoundOracle.net, Independence Day sale still going on until Sunday.
Hey, Independence Day sale, same thing. Houston.
Get that kind.
Have a good weekend. Houston.Singletary, Instagram.